This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog, Zalma on Insurance. Today we find again that crime does not pay and why Allstate will have judgments against fraudsters who couldn't keep their lawyers and who allowed defaults to be entered against them. Because fraud perpetrators will have judgments entered in favor of an insurer that they defrauded. Allstate, therefore, effectively was proactive against insurance fraud. Plaintiffs Allstate Insurance Company and other Allstate companies, collectively referred to as the plaintiffs, sued seeking redress for losses incurred due to an alleged insurance fraud scheme. Plaintiffs alleged that the defendants Toshner, Lacey Davies, Trinh, Roadside Response LLC, and Responsible Billing LLC, collectively referred to as the defendants, submitted false reimbursement claims for hazardous material cleanups that were never actually performed, were unnecessary, or did not even involve an Allstate insured. In Allstate Insurance Company et al. Versus Daniel Toshner et al., the United States District Court for the Western District of Texas on July 9, 2025, dealt with Allstate's motion for default to be entered against the defendant fraudsters. Although defendants initially appeared in the lawsuit, their counsel later moved to withdraw from his representation of the defendants. The court granted counsel's motion to withdraw and ordered defendants to retain new counsel by a specific deadline, noting that while defendants Toshner, Davies, and Trinh could represent themselves pro se, the corporate defendants could not. The court also granted plaintiffs' motion to compel discovery responses from the defendants and afforded the defendants 60 days to respond to the at-issue discovery requests. When the defendants did not retain counsel or comply with their discovery obligations by the deadline, the defendants simply did not respond to the court. Plaintiffs moved for entry of default against the defendants, which the clerk of the court entered. Toshner, proceeding pro se, then filed the instant motion to set aside the default entered against him. Because no party filed timely objections, the court found no clear error in the recommendations of the magistrate judge, and the court denied Toshner's motion to set aside the default entered against him. Further, now that the clerk of the court has entered default against all defendants, the next step in this litigation is for the plaintiffs to move for default judgment against the defendants. Plaintiffs have received an entry of default as to all defendants and therefore can prove up a judgment against them. Plaintiffs have yet to complete the second step in the process by moving for default judgment, and under the court's local rules, the court ordered that the plaintiffs move for default judgment against the defendants on or before July 30, 2025. In my opinion, because state prosecutors are often unwilling to charge fraud perpetrators for their actions defrauding insurers, Allstate and other insurers are becoming proactive and sue the fraud perpetrators for major damages. In this case, the fraudster's lawyer refused to represent them and withdrew, and they could not get new counsel to defend because no honorable lawyer will defend or represent a person who were defrauding the plaintiffs. Default was entered, and Allstate will produce evidence and receive a judgment against each of the fraudsters that they can then execute against any assets held by the fraudster defendant and prove that crime, at least in this situation, did not pay. This video was adapted from my blog, Zelma on Insurance, which is available free to anyone who clicks on the URL zelma.com/blog. You can subscribe to the blog, and if you do, you'll receive notice of every blog posting, usually 5, sometimes 6 a week, and you'll also gain access to the more than 5,100 blog postings. You can also subscribe to these videos on YouTube and on rumble.com. And if you do, I'd appreciate it if you click on the like button on YouTube and the thumbs up button on rumble.com. And also, please subscribe. Please tell your friends and colleagues about this blog and these videos so that they too can subscribe. And if you're interested in further detail about insurance, insurance claims, insurance law, and insurance fraud, please consider for a very small fee subscribing to my Substack publication. Thank you for your attention.